I'd never seen a world quite like this one, says grandmother. Granted, this was only my first raid on a career full of them, but something was different about this world. It isn't the first time she's told me this story, but I'm patient, and she's an ill widow with little left but her fading memories, so I indulge her. What was it that was so special, Grandmama? There was a heaviness to the quality of the air. You could feel it the moment our ship tore through the atmosphere, she says through a throaty cough. Her hair is a shock of white, despite its receding line, and holds within it a tinge of blue from one too many dye jobs. Her body is hooked up to a respirator, but there's still a pack of cigarettes on her bedside table. The nurse will kill me if he finds out I still give them to her, but she doesn't ask for anything else. I can't bear to see the sad eyes she makes when she wants me to feel guilty. What did it look like? I ask. Her eyes light up. So much so that it looks like you can see the memory within the oceans of her irises and the expanse of her pupils. This is the story that keeps her mind sharp more than anything else. The day she first raided a new world for resources, both alien and material alike. On days she doesn't feel like telling it, her stories consist of little more than a jumble of names and dates. She calls me by my father's name, forgetting he passed away during the war, forgetting that she and I are all that's left of our bloodline. Well, as you know, I was only a lowly shock trooper. There were about 40 of us in a small dropship by the landing gear. The Alpha Team runners weren't out yet, so we could only see what the pilots saw in our visor's electronic display, which wasn't much. She looks up above her TV at the dusty, indented helmet on the shelf, longing for it, for her space-ready Kevlar and her days of adventure. She continues. But the clouds were thick, marshmallowy, and directly in front of our ship, you could see that the largest one had a castle on its back. No hover packs on its foundation. Hell, no foundation at all. Just a castle made of stone, with stained glass windows peppered along its spire, floating in the air like some kind of giant stone bird. It was incredible. Did you get to go inside? I ask, knowing the answer already. She laughs, a pitiful sound in her old age, but one I'm glad she still has the lung capacity for. It isn't the cigarettes that put her in the hospital here. In fact, it has more to do with the unstable atmospheric shifts she withstood during her year's raiding, but the smoking certainly didn't help. Oh heavens, no, child. We had work to do on the surface, reconnaissance and mapping, a home base to set up in the city we were invading. She wrung her hands out and sighed, looking at her useless legs. No, no, no. That was the first mate's work. It was years until I could run a mission like that. I grab her hands and massage her arthritic joints. They swell in certain places and grow dangerously thin in others. It's like her body is at war with itself, fighting over whether or not it's better to wither away or stay here for a few days longer. She looks at me with an air of pride and mystery. And then, of course, there was the collection. I take the bait, even though I know she'll never elaborate. What was the collection? She gives me a little half smile. Confidential information, Rudy. Never got the clearance to share it and never will. I'll take it to the grave with me. And she certainly will, but the rest of us won't. The logistics of the collection are common knowledge to anyone with access to the galaxy-wide web, and the truth of it is horrific. The genocide and enslavement of entire indigenous populations on countless uncharted worlds, perpetrated solely so that our species could live on after it decimated the planet we were born on. But grandmother is proud of her work. And I certainly wouldn't exist if she hadn't gone on her countless missions, nor would our colony on Earth too. So I let her tell her stories and I hide my shame. I pass her a plastic cup of water with a straw in it, but she closes her mouth, tight-lipped. Blech, she says. I prefer a cola. I smile at her. Next time, Grandmama, I promise, next time. She gives me her I know you're lying face, but she shuts up about it. Now where was I, she asks, fully aware for once that she hadn't finished telling a story. The castle showed up on our display and we zipped past it. The world had pretty sophisticated anti-aircraft weaponry, but certainly nothing good enough to match Scooter's gunning. Scooter was my grandfather. They were married for 58 years before he died, and at the end, he had a similar memory capacity that she does now. They'd raised me after father died, and I'd never known my mother. Hearing his name and the love she still exudes saying it pains me a little. Reminds me of better days, when it wasn't just the two of us. How'd you two have any time to go steady on a ship that big? She chortles before hacking up phlegm into an old handkerchief. Shh, honey, that isn't what this story is about. I know, Grandmama, I say. The violet warmth of the crescent moon out the window washes over her. I can see her eyes tiring, her wakefulness waning. Why don't you go to sleep for a little while? It's getting late. Oh, psh, you're no fun, she says, yawning. We're just getting to the best part.